Hello, my name is Oscar. I study at the Pan American University of Puerto in the Faculty of Education and Humanities, School of Modern Languages. In today's video, I'm going to go over some exercises to practice how to describe different personalities in English. So please join me. I have the exercises right here. And let's take a look at the instructions again. Let's zoom in. And we have, for this activity, you will make a video of yourself choosing the correct personality adjective to complete each sentence. Remember? All right. Perfect. So we have 10 sentences and some options with adjectives, and we have to choose and fill in the blanks with the appropriate adjectives. So let's start right away with the first one that says, you still might get the job. You should be more, and the options we have are pessimistic, reliable, optimistic, and generous. So, looking at the context of the sentence, where it says, you still might get the job, you should be more. So the correct option is optimistic. Again, because if we look at the context, this um, this sentence appears to be someone in encouraging somebody else, someone that maybe has a negative attitude or concept of themselves or are feeling down, and then the person is trying to cheer them up. So they should be more optimistic. Actually, let's change this to green. Right. Can be. That's perfect. Okay. Second one says, the child shared his sweets with all his classmates. He was very on space. And we have responsible, reliable, cheerful, and generous. Well, so obviously the correct option here is generous. Generous. Because that was a selfless act. The child had some sweets and he decided to share them with his classmates. So he's a generous child. And we have to take into account, of course, the context. So because there is nothing in this sentence that indicates that another option could be the right one. Because if the child had a responsibility to share those sweets, if that was a duty that this child had, then and we were given that context in the sentence, then the right answer would be responsible. He was responsible because he fulfilled his duty. But in this case, we have none of that. We simply have the child shared his sweets with all his classmates. So looking at that alone, we can say that he was very generous, without a doubt. Next one says, Linda is a blank space girl. She rarely speaks at all. Perfect. So this second part of the sentence, this right here is what gives away the answer. The answer is right here. She rarely speaks at all. So we're talking about a quiet girl. And we have shy, outgoing, rude, and mean. So being rarely speaking, being a quiet girl is often associated with shyness. So Linda, the most likely answer here is that Linda is a shy girl. Mm, yes. Okay, next one says, I don't want Mike to look after my cat when I'm away. He's too, blank space, and we have responsible, mean, lazy, and unreliable. So it's interesting, once again, because of the context, several options could be applicable to this sentence, but one of them makes the most sense. Okay, so I don't want Mike to look after my cat when I'm away. He's too responsible. Of course not. This is the one that can't be, that is not applicable in any way to the sentence. So responsible is not the answer. He's too mean. That's actually applicable. That could make logical sense. He's too lazy. That also could make sense. I don't want him to look after my cat when I'm away. He's too lazy. Maybe he would be too lazy to get off the couch and get the cat's food. But the adjective that makes perfect match with this context is the final one, unreliable. I don't want Mike to look after my cat when I'm away. He's too unreliable. Because unreliable could encompass laziness, mean, and other things that would make a person not quite fit to take care of someone else's pet. So unreliable is the right answer. Unreliable. Okay. Think we're good. Sorry, I had some lag there. Hello? Okay, we're back. Now, perfect. Number 5. George is very blank space, so I know he'll look after my car. Okay, so this is the opposite to the previous one. So George is very responsible. Responsible. The other options, sorry about that. The other options are easygoing, optimistic, and rude. But none of those make logical sense for the sentence, for somebody to be a good candidate to look after your car. You need someone that is responsible. So if he knows that he is going to look after his car, then George is very responsible. I think my camera is getting a little bit of lag. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's finish this. Joe is very blank space. If I ask him for a favor, I know I can count on him. Okay, so we have optimistic, reliable, generous, and mean. In this case, both reliable and generous are applicable in this sentence. But the one that makes perfect match is, again, reliable, because that is the definition of reliable, something that you can count on. So Joe is very reliable. So if he's so reliable, it's likely that he is very generous, but he's reliable. And that is the correct answer. Okay, number 7, the waiter was very blank space to us. He didn't even smile. Okay, So if he didn't even smile, okay, let's take that into account. And we have the options hardworking, friendly, rude, and lazy. In this case, the option must be rude. The waiter was very rude to us. He didn't even smile. Okay. Number 8, the children were very blank space and did not welcome the new boy to the class. Okay, this one is easy. And we're back. Sorry about that. There. There. Okay. So the children were very blank space and did not welcome the new boy to the class. So this one is very easy. The children were unfriendly because they didn't want to make friends with the new boy. So they were unfriendly. The other options were pessimistic, kind, and miserable, which are not applicable. Unfriendly. Okay. Number 9 says, Jean's husband is very blank space. He's always relaxed and never seems to worry about anything. Have some lag again. Sorry about that. We're back. Hello? Okay. So the thing is, we have hardworking, generous, reliable, and easygoing. So he's always relaxed and never seems to worry about anything. That does not match with hardworking, generous, or reliable. The correct answer here is easygoing. He's easygoing. He's a relaxed person. He takes it easy. Okay. And finally, number 10, the blank space child took her sister's doll and pulled one of its arms off. Okay, so what we're looking at this scenario is clearly a mean action that a child is committing. So the options are outgoing, optimistic, mean, that could also be applicable. Sorry, mean, that is the right answer, and rude, that could also be applicable. But this action goes beyond being rude. It's being mean. It's having ill intent towards, in this case, her sister. So the correct answer here is mean. Okay, and those are all the sentences that we had for today's video. Thank you for joining me today, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye for now.